Hello, manic.mercurian here, and today I wanted to talk about the correlation of some big astrological events in the year 2022 with the potential onset of global recession in the year 2022. Now, right now I'm showing you the chart for August 1st of this year, 2022, and I wanted to highlight this huge kind of triple conjunction here. Now, this is, like basically I couldn't think of a more perfect aspect for some big, changes economically. The nodes have been highlighting this axis, the Taurus Scorpio axis, which has to do with possession, resources, finances, investing. Taurus more has to do with the resources that you have like on hand, like the money in your wallet. Scorpio more has to do with your investments, your savings accounts, your debt, all that kind of stuff. So all of that is being highlighted for this 2 year transit that the nodes are in Taurus and Scorpio. And we're having a few really interesting eclipses as well as other astrological events that do signify some major changes economically. So again, the first one that I wanted to talk about today is you can see August 1st. We have Uranus, Mars, and North Node all conjunct at 18 degrees. They're all within, less than a degree away from each other. So when you combine the two most volatile planets we have in our solar system, Uranus and Mars, and then you put those on the North Node in Taurus, which is also a volatile energy. Nodal energy, particularly North Node energy, is a great energy. It does push us to evolve and it brings good things generally, but it's unstable. It's highly unstable. With it brings dramatic changes. It brings karmic events. Okay, so with all this focused in Taurus, Taurus is the sign of money, possession, resources, commodities. What do we value? So this shows that all the values are going to be changing dramatically. So, companies or goods that were very much valued before will no longer be valued. Things that were not valued before will suddenly be valued. And this just it correlates to some major economic upheaval. What gets really interesting is that Venus, which often has to do with finances, Venus is like the planet of money, I guess you could say, and has a lot to do with like abundance and spending and things of that nature. Venus is going to be sextiling this triple conjunction technically just a day after on August 2nd, but it's already, within orb August 1st. So to me, again, this is so interesting that Venus, which rules Taurus, so Venus is basically like the keeper of the home that Uranus, Mars, and North Node are all in. They're all in Taurus, which is the home of Venus. So Venus has to act as it has to take care of her guests, so to speak. So this is positive. I mean, let me clarify that. So like it's showing dramatic changes and upheavals in our economy. So that can hurt, especially in the short term. This can be scary. Change can be devastating. Especially if you weren't expecting that change. Change can destroy you. However, because this is conjunct, the Mars and Uranus are conjunct the North Node, and we have Venus making this beautiful sextile to this triple conjunction, and they're all in her sign. This shows that these economic changes are supported. There's some kind of abundance behind it, and I know that might sound crazy, but it shows that we're moving in a positive direction. Again, though, I want to, maybe belabor it a little bit that, even if we, like, let's say we're part of a kind of corrupt system, if we destroy that corruption, it's still destructive. It could be moving us in a better direction, maybe toward making room for something better, but it's still destructive and it can still be scary. It can still be tumultuous as we're going through it. I wanted to show you another chart here. So if we jump forward about a week to August 7th, um, to be clear, it's like late August 7th. We have the Lionsgate Portal of typically it's August 8th, but it looks like here it's a little bit earlier. So this is, in case you don't know, the Lionsgate Portal opens up once a year in the middle, right smack dab in the middle of summer. So this middle day is usually August 8th. In this case, it's August 7th, looks like. But this is an important day for, like pagan rituals and stuff. Acknowledge this day because this portal kind of opens up. It's important for manifestation. If you want to manifest something, if you want to bring something into this world, or maybe bring something out of this world, there's a lot of creative energy, and the veil between us and the non-physical realms is much thinner on August 8th. This is one of the 8 important days of the year. Now, why am I showing you this, though? So this day, this happens once a year, but this time for 2022 is very particularly interesting because when the sun gets to this middle degree of Leo, it actually squares the nodes. Now, this is not exact, but it is pretty darn close. The nodes are at 17 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. Sun is at 15 degrees Leo, so that it makes a T-square. Again, not an exact T-square, but with an orb of like 2 degrees. So the reason why I'm saying this is because when you have this very special day where the veils are thinner and all that other stuff, and then the sun squares the nodes, again, this could signify major changes coming down the turnpike, so to speak. It also signifies we're at this like halfway point. There's a checkpoint. So there's some kind of shift. We're shifting into a new chapter, so to speak. Sun is also coming in with an orb of squaring that triple conjunction, which by this time, August 7th, this triple conjunction is starting to break up. North node is retrograding. It's at 17 degrees Taurus. Mars is going ahead. It's at 22 degrees. But they're still, within orb. It's still kind of loose triple conjunction. And so Sun is a little bit late to the party, but Sun is starting to square this triple conjunction as it squares the nodes. So again, this just signifies major changes, major upheavals, things shifting dramatically, especially in terms of our finances and our economy. Okay, and this is just the beginning. This is really just the beginning. There is some major stuff happening in early 2023. But we're not going to go quite that far today. I want to keep this short. But there is one major aspect that I've been thinking about for over a year now that is happening in November that I wanted to show you. So this is the chart for November 8th, 2022. And right away, you might see a lot of these red lines here in the middle. These red lines are showing oppositions. This is a full moon lunar eclipse conjunct Uranus. It's pretty tightly conjunct at 16 degrees Taurus. And again, this is like the perfect aspect in terms of really shaking up the economy. Major changes, and I think it's very interesting because there are a lot of rumors suggesting that meat prices are going to go up in fall or winter, and other things. There's going to be some major changes and prices going up around this time anyway. So as soon as I heard that, I thought of this chart because I already knew that this chart does show the potential for major changes. So we have the full moon lunar eclipse, and right away, a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus just in itself would be, kind of perfect for really changing the economy. This is a somewhat more positive eclipse, if you want to call it that, because the moon is conjunct the north node in this case, so it's bringing about the themes of both the south node and the north node. Sun conjunct south node with an orb of 3 degrees, moon conjunct north node with an orb of 3 degrees. And this is a pretty tight eclipse too. An eclipse is basically a new moon or a full moon that is conjunct the nodal axis. So in this case, it's pretty close to the nodal axis. So this is a very powerful eclipse. So this is changing all that stuff about the that has to do with the Scorpio-Taurus axis, the commodities, the resources, the investments. All of that is suddenly shifting. Now this is especially scary to us because happening in fixed signs. These fixed signs, this axis, typically represents things that we like to keep stable. We like to keep our investments stable. We want to invest in something that's going to be reliable. And so when these things are not reliable and they suddenly dramatically change and things that we counted on being there may not be there, that's where this can be very shocking, even if it's pushing us in a positive direction, even if it's pushing us to something that is ultimately more true, more stable, more authentic, something in our best good. It can still be destructive. This is some dramatic change, and I always say, too much change will kill you. Change can be good. We want evolution. The nodes push evolution, but change can be very difficult. It can be something to adapt to. Now, one other reason why this eclipse is really major, so that conjunction with Uranus is very tight. Full moon The full moon lunar eclipse is at 16 degrees Taurus. Uranus is retrograde and it's at 16 degrees Taurus as well. So Uranus is the energy of earthquakes. Uranus is the great awakener. It's the disruptor. Uranus brings unpredictable change. So with Uranus, expect the unexpected. And this is again happening in the sign of Taurus, which has to do with money and how we support ourselves. So full moon lunar eclipse conjunct Uranus in Taurus, major changes with money, major changes. We have also got Mercury conjunct the Sun with an orb of 1 degree here. So changes. These are some. I would expect the unexpected, especially going into fall and winter, especially around this date, November 8th. And this is it's actually part of the meltdown. We're going to have a major meltdown early next year. I'm not going to go into next year too much, but I will say in March of 2023, Saturn enters Pisces and Pluto enters Aquarius. And these are two major things. When Saturn joins Neptune and Pisces, this signifies a global meltdown of the structure. The structure has kept itself going when Saturn has been in Capricorn and Aquarius for the last several years. Saturn's been in domicile, the authorities have been kind of strong, the hierarchies have been strong, but when Saturn enters Pisces, you don't have that anymore. And that may sound good to you or it may sound bad, but it's really a whole mix of both. We kind of enter the Wild West. The structures that we relied on are no longer there. Also, when Pluto goes into Aquarius, this is going to signify the potential for major social unrest and also technological dysfunction. Technologies that we relied on being there may not be there anymore. Dysfunction or destruction with technologies, brownouts, blackouts, etc. And so we're entering very, very interesting times. If you think it's been interesting, this is just the beginning. And so hopefully this astrology has kind of helped you to see that. But I hope you're doing well out there wherever you are. And if you want more kind of astrological information like this, check out my channel. But I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you later.